Hey there, thanks for opting into the instructor video critique. I'll just look over your spread for a second and then I'll provide you with some ideas. I saw that you asked if you should reduce the column's height and bring some text on the first page. Okay, so I don't think it would be a bad idea to bring some text on the first page. Right now you just have this little bit of a teaser. Um, you might be able to tuck maybe a paragraph or two in this black space, which would look kind of cool. You're missing a byline here, so I would add that in. Whoever wrote this article, I would probably expand your stroke a little bit or your shape a little bit and right align it. It'd be nice to have some kind of variation when it comes to the typefaces or the size for this title. Okay, so take a look at the examples on this page. I really like this one, the Holy Temple, how it's in a sans serif. It's nice and big. A Beacon of Light is yellow and it's in a serif font. So you see you have that contrast. Over here you have a contrast as well. Look how big brighter and brighter is. And then Until the Perfect Day, contrasting font type and size is very extremely different. Okay, so go ahead and play around with that a little bit more. I think Bearers of would look really nice if it stayed in this serif, but then Heavenly Light would look great if you could add some variation. Maybe see if you can find a nice serif font on dafont.com or a similar site. If you just type in, let me show you, dafont.com. Here you can see up at the top. And then you can come over to script, click on school or handwritten, and see if there's something in here that would look really good. I think any of these would look pretty nice. Envision perhaps something like this for Heavenly Light. That would look really cool. And then you could use that. You're already following the rule of contrast, but I think something about this just kind of feels like it would look really good with a script to me. So yeah, feel free to go ahead and put in a paragraph or two. I wouldn't go too crazy. You might be able to tuck a nice column just in this area here. One thing that feels a little odd to me on this page is the placement of your box. I might put it down at the bottom. I wonder if you could just put it across the bottom or get rid of the blue. It might look better in the black space if you have Bearers of, like a nice serif, and then Heavenly Light really big in a script. And then you could have a paragraph, maybe left aligned down here or something. I like how you've done this selection of the candle and you have a circle. That looks kind of neat. One thing I would recommend is usually you don't want to right align your subheadings. You want to have those left aligned. So I would keep those left aligned over here. I would also decrease, you're doing a typical tab as opposed to, which usually you would do if you were writing in a Word document. But instead, since this is a magazine spread and every space is important, you just want to add maybe 3 spaces as opposed to a full tab. And that's going to help this look a little more industry standard. I would add a little bit of a wider gutter between your columns. They're a little bit close together. And then this looks really nice. I like how you've curved around that. A rule for drop shadows. When you're placing a drop shadow on a shape, the rules you want to keep it light and keep it tight. Okay, so this drop shadow, it's probably the correct amount of space away from the initial shape, but it's a little bit too dark. I would probably reduce the darkness of this drop shadow by about half, and that'll put you in a place where it's not distracting. You're not drawn to look at the drop shadow. Instead, it's just going to make your quote stand out. Be sure to turn off hyphens within your pull quote as well. It looks like you have them turned off for the main body. I would not draw attention to continued on page number. That's not something people need to have their eye look at. If anything, you want it to blend into the background. So just have it black. I wouldn't, and actually add a page number so it feels like professional. And then I would remove these numbered footnotes as well. Because we don't really need to show this for our purposes. Down here, you never want to have a heading at the bottom of a column, so I would move that up here. And then bed and walk, while they're by themselves here, you want those to stay with this column as well. Okay, you don't want to have any idea that's finishing with only a few words at the top of a column. I would probably also work on maybe increasing a little bit of the area of white space. You don't necessarily need to have so much written content. For example, look at this. That is one of the examples on the magazine spread final assignment. See how much white space there is between the edge of the page and the column? This is a ton of white space. It really allows the eye to flow. It looks nice. You might play around with adding a little bit more of this. See how these columns are nice and tidy. They're small. They have a good amount of white space in between them. So I think yours would definitely benefit from interjecting more white space into it. Also, it always looks nice to have a different background color. The light blue is all right, but it might be nice to have maybe white on one of these, and that'll actually help the blue stand out a little bit more. Maybe this background is light blue and this one's white because this is a blue color. And continue to work on your color scheme. Right now, really the only color I see is blue. So what goes with blue? Would you want to have these in orange or in yellow? I probably wouldn't choose red, but orange or yellow might look nice. You could do a coral. You could do kind of a deep burgundy or deep brown or something that's going to help this all feel cohesive and add a little bit more visual interest with the color scheme. Okay, I think you have all of the elements that you need to have. It's just a matter of cleaning it up, interjecting more white space, making this title page look a little bit more like something like this probably. Okay, and once you start doing that, it's really going to come together and it'll be taking it to the next level. Feel free to shoot me an email with your second draft if you want to have me take a quick look at it once you've made some of these choices, and I'll write you back and tell you if you're on the right track. Okay, thanks. Have a good night.